Hey, this is Gerlach, and this video is going to be about my add-on that I created called Raid Practice. The basic purpose of the add-on is for individuals or groups to practice raid mechanics, particularly movement, grouping, spreading, without the fear of dying in the safety area of a training dummy. Um, Back during Razageth, my guild was trying to coordinate all the movement with dropping the bombs, and so we went to Valdraken on top of one of the platforms. There was a big circle up there, and we kind of set up some markers, and we did some call outs and did like kind of a dry run of what the movement requirements would be for that fight, which actually really helped a lot. Whenever we got back into the fight, everyone had a lot better idea about what they were supposed to do, and it really helped our progression. So it was way back then, I guess it was a couple years ago now, that I had the idea to make the add-on. Um, and so that's kind of where the idea came from, and so eventually I made it. All right. So in order to use the raid practice add-on, you basically need to be in a group. The reason for that is you can't place markers in the world unless you're in a group. And the add-on kind of depends on markers so that you have a set place to run and that sort of thing. Um, so there's a mini-map button that it comes with. If you click on it, it will show the basic window of the add-on. In the upper left, there's an info button if you click on. It basically tells you kind of simple information about how to get started with the add-on, telling you to place raid markers before starting the encounter. If you're playing solo, you can open the group finder and create a private group so you can place markers. So we're going to do that now. So I'll go to pre-mades, custom, start a group. I'm just going to call it test, and I will click the private, and then I'll list the group. All right, so because it's private, only friends can see that. It's not listed for the public. But now that I'm in a group, I can actually come over here, and of course my UI is funky. Let me go ahead and just enable my world marker add-on real quick. UI is funky because I have something called dark mode, which hasn't been updated, so some UI elements are kind of weird. All right, I'm in a group, and I can place markers now. What this is going to tell you here is place the skull on the in-game training dummy. So we're going to do that like this. Place X and square on either side of the boss. So we'll do like this. I was hoping this video wouldn't be too long, but apparently it's probably going to run longer than I originally thought, but whatever. I'll try to be quick. Star and circle diagonally about 20 yards away. Okay, so we'll do star and circle. Diamond in the middle of the other markers. Triangle opposite the boss for AoE healing. So we'll put triangle back here somewhere. I kind of screwed that up. We'll do diamond here. We'll do star over here. And it also says at the end here, moon nearby targets. So we'll do moon nearby targets to act as ads. Let's say we want to attack the ads. They're going to be over here. Also, you can customize the placement of these markers as you desire. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. This is just an idea about what it might look like. here's an example. So I have an example image that I took a screenshot, basically of what I just set up, but it's inside the add-on. If you want to access it, you can click the blue text there at the bottom of that info window. Okay, so the main window has a pull down here at the top that says select an encounter. It's going to come with two things, tutorial and all events once. The one that's labeled test here and DPS timer I have created for my own use, but you're going to see tutorial and all events once. We'll get to that in a sec. The other buttons are ready check, which just does a simple ready check. Everyone has to click ready. There's a start encounter, there's a stop encounter, and then there's 4 buttons along the bottom here. As a matter of fact, I didn't need to enable my world markers. I totally forgot. I built that into the add-on. Alright. That was embarrassing. But you can right-click these to clear. So it's in the tooltip there. So let's say that one there. I'm going to put the diamond back. Okay. So that's the far left button. The next one is the target markers. So let's say we want to get this guy over here. We want to give him the moon, for example. You can select players and give them markers as well. Right click to clear. There's also a clear all markers button here at the bottom. So for example, the world markers, we can clear all the markers. We'll just get rid of them all. I'm not going to do that because I set them all up already, but it's there. Alright, before I get to the other two, the event timers, I guess I can show that. There's nothing on there yet, but it's just a window that's going to pop up that's going to show all the event timers. Think like DBM countdown timer sort of idea. Alright. So first thing I'm going to do here is select the enemy, and we're going to choose the tutorial. The tutorial is an encounter, a practice encounter, that I created to basically describe what to do with the add-on. So we hit ready check. It's going to ask everybody, to hit ready. Everyone's ready. Now we'll hit start, and it's going to count down. It's going to announce everybody that the practice tutorial is starting and gives you a countdown timer here. So then I have a bunch of text. Make sure to place the markers. Click the yellow info button for help. All right. Another event's coming up. On the event encounter start, we tell everyone to go. See these cooldowns. So there's an event called encounter start. All right. On the event stack, we tell everyone to stack on the star. This could represent dodging a frontal or a group soak. On the event spread, we tell everyone to spread out. This represents a mechanic that will hurt nearby players. Okay, so there's all these events associated with each of the encounters. The next event is a tank swap. It's going to tell the tanks to swap. So that's when the tanks would taunt. The next event is called Safe Zone. And this one tells everyone to go to the safe area where the floor is lava, for example. Move to the orange. And then we have an event called Encounter End. We'll tell everyone the encounter is over. The other events that you will find in the encounter editor should be self-explanatory. Hopefully tutorial gave you an idea on how to use this add-on. Go to CurseForce for comments, questions, or suggestions. Alright, so that's the tutorial. Just gives you some real basic idea about what the add-on does and some of the events that are associated. Alright. So there's another, the other one that's called All Events Once. This comes with the add-on. I'll show you this now. I'm just going to go ahead and select it here in the drop-down and hit Start Encounter. This is basically going to kind of quickly run through all of the possible events to show you kind of what's available. All right, so there's the encounter start. Go, go, go. Potions, trinkets. All right, the next one, stack on skull. The next event is an interrupt. Next event is 2 players are debuffed. I don't have 2 players in the group, but 2 players will get marks. They'll have to run. 3 players are debuffed, so 3 players will get marks. Pair up, stand with someone. So we want everyone to pair up on this one. We're going to attack the adds. Again, this is just all events once to give you an idea about all the possible events. Stun the adds. Okay, so we'll do that with the Shadow Fury. All right, we're going to stack here. All right, then we're going to spread out. Again, this isn't a real encounter. This is just to show you all the events. All right, everyone to the AoE healing here. Odds left, evens right. Or vice versa. Odds right, evens left. I have both of them in there. All right, tank swap again. We're going to go ahead and have the tanks taunt. All right, the floor is lava. A couple of these we saw during the tutorial. All right, this is execute. See these potions, trinkets again. Heroism. All right, encounter's over. All right, that is all of the possible events. So at this point, you may be thinking, that's all good and well and good, but like, how do I set up something more useful to the encounter that you or your raid, your guild is working on? All right, that's where this fourth icon, Toggle Encounter Manager, comes into play. This is the kind of real power of the add-on right in here. So I've got 4 in here. All events once and tutorial come with it. The tests I've created and DPS timer I created for me and a buddy to kind of run for 5 minutes on our warlocks. So this, if you highlight something, I'll go ahead and just hit delete. It says, are you sure you want to delete the test? Yeah, we'll delete that. All right, so now the test is gone. There's an add button down here. We're going to add, and we're going to call this YouTube example. Doesn't really matter what we call it. Let me call it something. All right, as soon as you hit OK, it's going to launch you into the encounter editor with the name at the top. You can highlight this and change the name. I'm just going to call it YouTube test and press return. And now it'll give you a message here in the chat. I know you can't see it, but it'll give you a message saying the encounter has been renamed. The basic encounter is going to start with 2 events: the encounter start and the encounter end. Far left column is how many seconds from the time that the countdown timer starts will the event trigger. So this event called encounter start is actually going to trigger at 0. So right when the encounter starts, the encounter start event is going to trigger. That's a little weird, but I'm just going to tell everyone here on the right side is the message, what's going to be printed in chat. So you can see it says go, 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 potions, trinkets, heroism, etc. And you can highlight these events. You can see I'm clicking on it and it's highlighting it. The far left column, again, is the seconds. The second column here is the pull down menu that gives you access to change whatever event is associated here. So down here at the bottom left, I'm going to click add event, and we're going to give it like at the 5-second mark. Okay, so as soon as I type in 5 and press return, it goes up in between. So 0, 5, it's going to reorder this properly. So then I click on the menu and see what do we want to happen at 5 seconds. Let's just have, for example, stack on boss. All right, so stack on skull is what it's going to say. Okay, we're going to add another event here. This one we're going to choose AoE healing. This is going to happen at 10 seconds. So I'll type in 10 and press return, and it's going to move it up here to the 10-second line. I'm going to add another event. We're going to call this, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, attack adds. This is going to happen at, let's say, 15 seconds. Then right before the encounter ends, let's say 5 seconds or 10 seconds, or more realistically 15 or 20 seconds before the encounter ends, we want to do, I'm going to add again, we're going to do execute. This one's going to come in, just for our example here, at 25 seconds. All right, so now between 15 and 25, let's put another one in there. Let's add event, and let's call this, let's call this spread. Let's just say this is going to happen at 20 seconds. So type 20, press return. All right, so now all the events are in order. You can highlight events and hit delete. So let's say maybe we don't want to stack on skull at 5 seconds. Yeah, that's dumb. Let's get rid of that. So we'll just highlight it and press delete. We can click save encounter. All right, we can actually close the encounter manager because the encounter is now saved in the add-on. Go ahead and click the drop-down menu and you'll see YouTube test. Then we'll hit start encounter now. The event timer will pop up. The countdown timer will begin. And I'm going to try to do it. All right, so we're going to go, 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 go. All right, so I'm DPSing. I know my DPS is not great. All right, so the next thing, everyone to triangle. I'm going to come over here for some AoE healing. Could have done some instants. All right, attack the adds at the moon. All right, spread out. Don't stand next to other people. All right, so we're just going to spread out. All right, so there's the execute. Blow them up. All right, encounter's over. That's the end. That's basically all it is. We'll show you here in the encounter manager. There's that YouTube test. I do have an info button here as well that will kind of describe how to use this. A little bit of additional information telling you can add, edit, delete. Telling you the tutorial and the all events once cannot be deleted just because they're default encounters. I don't want people to be able to delete the tutorial. I think that's about it. You can get creative with it. You can kind of try to mirror it after things that are happening in an encounter that your guild or yourself is working on to help you practice what's going on in the encounter. I guess that's about it. Probably overtalked it. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.